Invest in these 3 things in life that are more important than money and health. What do you think is the most important thing in life? Have you ever wondered if there is anything more important than money? During my career development, I changed my major to psychology, which was a completely new field for me in the last year of my PhD program in economics. Do you know why? Many people are trying to live a healthier lifestyle to live longer. If we were to lose our lives today in an unintended accident, we would have to ask ourselves what these efforts would be worth. But today, I want to introduce you to something more important than the extension of our lives, no matter when our life ends without warnings. Close your eyes for a moment. Use your imagination to imagine at this moment that we are about to die in a few days. Think of this as the last moment of your life. What do you most want to do? Many people do not realize the true value of life until they face their own death. I have seen many people face the last moments of their lives, regretful of what they have not done earlier. When I was in high school, I was alone at home with my mother, who was sick, and I closed her eyes for her in her last moments, my only emotional support. I was a teenager at the time, so I didn't know the shock, and I realized later that the experience was a huge trauma for me. From then on, I became an amateur philosopher of what I should live for in life, always thinking about what it means. In my search for answers, I became, above all, on a mission to educate people about the true value of life, which I have learned through my own experience. I realized that the true value of our lives is less visible than the economic success that many of us pursue. But it is in the relationships that we have formed and also create as we live. Humans are born into relationships and cannot live without them. Even when we are alone, relationships we have formed in the past remain in our minds and continue to affect us. Even in the last moments of life, our relationships give us the strength to take our last breath comfortably with peace of mind. If we have a good relationship with those we love, even if our bodies are gone, we are not dead but live on in their memories. As long as your loved ones are still alive, they will keep their memories with you. I still cherish the memories of my brief relationship with my mother, who supported me as a child. Those memories have comforted me in every difficult moment of my life. My topic today is an introduction to how to reconstruct the most essential 3 relationships in life. The first relationship is with yourself. Many people find it difficult to love themselves for a variety of reasons. Some people criticize themselves harshly and do not like themselves since childhood. They received a lot of negative feedback from parents, school teachers, and others as a child, and they grew up with a pessimistic mind without knowing why. Having a comfortable enough relationship with oneself means having the best companion in mind when faced with difficulties. It is one of the most important psychological assets in life. What is the primary role of your parents? It is to help you have the best advocate or companion beneath you when no one in the world. If you don't have good warm memories with either parent, the prospect of having a good advocate in your life becomes doomed. Every year around the world, even celebrities who do not have these kind-hearted companions end their lives by suicide. This includes cases of loss of life due to overdose or extreme choice. So it can be important to re-establish my inner supporter through a relationship resolution with a parent, or a new relationship with a counselor or mentor. Now I think you can guess what the second most important relationship in life is. The second important relationship is with parents, which is formed from a young age. This has been a lifelong challenge for many people, both minors and adults. In my work as a mental health counselor, I often see adult children whose parents fail to express their love even at the last moment. This is because they still hold unresolved wounds and anger towards their parents. Usually, emotional wounds begin at a young age without the parents knowing. Due to the difficulty of honest communication with parents, the pain often persists into adulthood. Sometimes it is sad to see family members grow apart and not see each other. The biggest reason is that parents and children who spent the most precious early days of their lives together have not been emotionally in agreement. What was wrong between them? No matter how far we run away from our families, our unconscious memories eventually follow us. Eventually, you're forced to confront your nightmares through dreams or actually through difficult relationships with your spouse, your children, your bosses, and your coworkers. Therefore, resolving these unresolved parent-child relationships together, through face-to-face confrontation and eventual forgiveness, before reaching the end of their lives may be the most important thing for loving parents and children to do for each other. There was an 80-year-old grandmother. As a terminal cancer patient, for the first time in the last 3 days of his life, she saw herself confessing to me what he had done to his 5-year-old child when she was a young mother. This young mother, who lived in North Korea during the Korean War, left her daughter with her mother and promised to leave for a while to escape the Communist Army and return soon. But the war forced her to flee south, making it impossible to return to her daughter. It was the most painful memory she had of her life, unable to share even with her new family in the south, and it haunted her until 60 years later when she died of cancer. I could imagine the pain of her life as she ran away from the guilt she hadn't dealt with all her life in her heart, and was only able to confess it just before she died. Now let's move on to the third most important relationship in our lives. It's a couple relationship. Everyone who is married makes a promise at their wedding, promising to love each other until death do us part. But what happened to that promise? Staying together until death do us part is no longer the norm in modern marriage. Do you still live with your first spouse? Divorced people mock those who stay married. Is this the culture of marriage in modern society? You need to question what's wrong, regardless of who of the couple proves right or wrong. Divorce has a serious trauma and negative impact, especially on young children, regardless of gender, ethno-economic status, or social class. Therefore, before it is too late, they should look back on their marriage relationship, remember the vows they made together when they were newlyweds, and try to solve the problems together. By doing so, you can prevent injury to your children. However, suppose a child has been unintentionally hurt through frequent fights or divorce between a couple. In that case, the parents who first awaken should make it a priority in their lives to spend time and effort to heal the wounds so that the past wounds they unintentionally caused together as a couple will not continue to hurt their children's lives when they become adults to perpetuate their generational trauma. Thus, before it is too late to establish their self-esteem and resolve unresolved problems between parents and children, prioritizing investments in resolving unforeseen problems each of the couples brought into their marriage, and healing the wounds that couples unintentionally inflicted on their children together, will be the wisest investment we can make in our lifetime. Thank you for watching.